Hi there. My name is Phil and I'm a happiness engineer with WordPress.com, based in Glasgow, Scotland. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of building a site on WordPress.com. The first thing we'll cover is creating a new site. WordPress can be used for creating any kind of site, and you can always add or remove features or change any other aspect of your site content and design as your site grows or your needs change. The first thing you'll do when getting started is enter a name for your new site. I'm creating a portfolio site, and I'm going to call it Art from Phil. After entering the name of your site and clicking Continue, you'll see the option to choose a domain for your site. The domain is what visitors will type in the address bar or click on to reach your site. WordPress.com will automatically show you suggested domain names based on the title of the site you entered. You will see different options listed for available domain names, such as .com and .gallery and .art. And next to those domain names, you will see the annual registration cost for the domain, as well as a note that says, first year included with annual plans. This means that if you choose to add an annual plan to your site, you won't need to also pay for the cost of the domain registration until the following year. In addition to registering a custom domain, all sites on WordPress.com will get a free domain name. I'm going to use the free domain for the purposes of this demo. To move to the next step, I'm going to click on artfromphil.wordpress.com and click the Continue button. After choosing the domain of your site, you will see the option to choose a design for the home page. The designs shown contain example demo content that is laid out in unique ways and are all built using the WordPress editor. Don't worry too much about your decision here, as you can completely customize this layout later or replace it with an entirely new design. I'm going to click on a layout I think will work well for my art portfolio homepage. Next, you will see the option to pick a font pairing for your site. The font pairing option allows you to choose a heading font and a base font that work well together. After finalizing the initial design, you will see the option to choose additional features that you may want to add to your site. These feature suggestions will be used to suggest a paid plan that you might want to consider adding to your site, which will enable these features. For this demo, I'm going to skip these suggestions and continue with the free site. As a final step, you will be presented with a menu of options for plans to add to your site, along with an outline of their benefits. These plans can be paid for on either a monthly or an annual basis. Plans on WordPress.com provide different hosting features for your site, such as access to premium themes, additional media storage space, the ability to add custom plugins, and much more. If you aren't sure what features you need, you will have the option to upgrade your site at any time. For this demo, I'm going to choose the free option. After this final step, my site will be created and I'll then be able to start exploring and customizing it. After your site has been created, you'll want to explore it. A new site on WordPress.com will be created with the demo homepage and potentially other demo content like example posts and other pages as well. The site will also be set to coming soon, which means it won't be accessible to visitors online until you are ready. After your site has been created, you will be brought to the WordPress editor showing the homepage layout of your site. All of the content you see on the page is demo content that is designed to be swapped out with your own. In the WordPress editor, you can customize the content on your homepage layout by editing the blocks of content on the page. To select and edit a block, first click on the block you want to change. You can then use your keyboard to add or edit text. You can use the block toolbar above the block to make different settings changes. And click on the gear icon in the upper right-hand side of the editor to open the block settings menu and make additional changes to block settings. As an example, I'm going to change the heading text and paragraph text on my page and put in some replacement text that I've written. When you first create your site, the site will be hidden behind a Coming Soon page until you click on the Launch button in the upper right area of the editor window or in your site's settings menu. You can preview your homepage in your site as visitors will see it by clicking on the preview link next to the launch button. Clicking on preview will open your site with your latest changes so you can get an exact preview of what visitors will see once the site is live. At the top of this window, on the left, you will see a drop-down menu with options to see what the site will look like when viewed on different screen sizes. On the right-hand side, you will see the option to visit the site in a new browser tab or window, which can be useful to have open along with the editor while working on your site. I'm just going to open the site in a new tab so I can see the same preview that I was seeing in the previous section, as well as the banner on the top that shows your site hasn't been launched yet. This is another indication that your site is still behind a coming soon page. You will also notice the option called Customize in the preview window, which will allow you to open the customizer to make changes to your site-wide settings, such as the site menu, adding a site logo, and much more. I'll cover the customizer later in this video. As an example of the coming soon page, if I visit my site's domain while not logged into WordPress.com, here's the page that I will see. You see my site address in the top, and my site title, Art from Phil, is showing, but all I see is the coming soon page. You can see this on your site as well by visiting your site's domain in a private or incognito browser window, or another device. So far, my site just consists of only this one page, and I'd like to add at least one more page before I launch the site. Before I do that though, I'd like to have a look around at other content and settings. To edit or add other pages to your site, or access the main WordPress.com dashboard, click on the WordPress icon on the upper left-hand side of the editor. The first time you click on the icon, you'll see a window showing you other pages on your site, as well as the option to add a new page, using the Add New Page link in the lower left. To go to the main WordPress.com dashboard for your site, click on the dashboard link. The dashboard shown here is what you will see first when you log into WordPress.com. This is where you can manage all of your site settings and content. Similar to the preview option we just looked at on the home page, you can preview how your site looks for visitors by clicking on the site name in the upper left-hand corner. Additionally, if you are viewing your site directly as a visitor would, which you can do so using the Visit Site button, you can also get to the dashboard by clicking on the My Sites button in the WordPress.com toolbar. Next, I'll walk through how to add additional content to your site. Now that you know what your homepage looks like and how to preview your site, let's check out how to add more content to the site using Pages and Posts. The two main types of content on a WordPress site are Pages and Posts. You can access those two types of content in the corresponding menu on the left-hand side of the dashboard. Pages are intended to be used for content that is mostly static and evergreen, such as a home page or a contact page. On my demo site, I can see that there is a home page, which we were working on in the previous section, as well as a blog page. Notice the badge next to the title of the page called Home, which indicates that this is the home page currently set for my site. You can click on the Options menu, also known as the three dots menu, next to a post or a page entry to find the option to view the page as a visitor would see it. There is my home page, for example. The blog page is designed to show the other type of content that I mentioned called posts. When I view the blog page on my site, for example, I can see a few posts showing in a grid. Here they are here. Posts are intended to be used for more dynamic content, such as blog posts, news updates, or announcements. Posts are created and published using the WordPress editor, the same way as pages are. But unlike pages that are typically linked to in your site's menu, posts are typically displayed in a list or a grid on a page, like this blog page, starting with the most recent entry first. You can go to the Post menu on your dashboard to see any posts that are on your site, or to create new posts if you plan on having a blog or a news section. If you don't want to use posts on your site, you don't have to either, and you can delete any posts that might have been added to your site using the Options menu next to each entry. For my demo site, I want to have a blog, but I would also like to have an About page as well with more information about me and specific clients I've worked with. To add a new page to your site, click on the Pages menu in your dashboard, and then click on the Add New Page button shown on the right-hand side of the Pages list. After clicking on Add New Page, you will see the option to pick a layout for your page or start with a blank layout. Just like the layout you chose for your homepage initially when creating your sites, the layouts shown are built with demo content that you can swap out with your own. I'm going to use a 2-column layout for my new About page. After you have chosen a layout, the WordPress editor will be ready for you to add your content. To select and edit an existing block of content, click on the block you want to change, and then use the keyboard or the options in the block toolbar to start making changes. I'll just add a title in here, like so, and then I'll change the tagline that's listed by pasting in some content that I had written. I can make the text bold or italics using the options in the block toolbar, as well as change the alignment of something like the heading here using the options in the toolbar as well. There are also additional block settings available from the Settings menu, which is accessible from the gear icon in the upper right-hand side of the editor. In the Settings menu, you will see a tab called Block Settings at the top, the contents of which will change depending on the block that you have selected. For example, if I want to change the size of the text in this paragraph block, I can use the block settings to do so. Also, if you make a change you don't want, or you want to compare with the previous change, you can use the undo or redo arrows in the upper left-hand corner of the editor to remove or reset your changes. If you want to add new content to a page rather than just edit the existing demo content, you can do so by adding a new block or a pattern of blocks. For my About page, I'd like to add a large image at the top of the page to start. I can select the place where I want to add a block to by clicking on an existing block and using the Options menu on the block toolbar to find the option to Insert Before or Insert After. In this case, I want to add an image right above the main heading with my name, so I'll choose Insert Before. Now that I have the location of the block ready, I can click on the plus button shown in the page or in the upper left-hand corner to choose the type of block I'd like to insert. I want to insert an image onto the page of my own artwork, and I can find the option to add an image block by browsing the Add Block menu or typing image in the search box. So I'll click on the plus button here, and I'll use the search option to type image and find the image block as the first result. After I insert the image block, I can select what image to show. I want to use an image of my own artwork in this case, which I can upload to the media library on my site using the Upload option, or from my phone using the WordPress mobile app. For this demo, I've already uploaded an image to my site that I want to use, so I will choose the option to Add from Media Library using Select Image. After I select the image from my media library, the image will be added to the image block on the page. I can modify the settings for that image block using the options in the block toolbar, such as the alignment option, as well as the settings in the right-hand side of the editor. One important setting for images is alt text, which is essential for those visitors using screen readers, as well as search engines, in understanding what your image is about. For this image, I will add the alt text, watercolor painting of a field in Scotland. If I want to change the placement of the image block after I've inserted it onto my page, I can do that using the arrows on the block toolbar to move the block up or down in the order on the page. I can also drag and drop the block into another area of the page as well. Remember, you can preview your page at any time to check out how your page is looking in the context of your overall site. I would also like to add some example art to the bottom of the page as well. As an alternative to adding individual image blocks, or even a gallery block, I can use a block pattern to add interesting layouts of blocks with demo content that I can then customize with my own. To add a new block pattern, I'll first select the location where I want to add it to, just like before. Then I'll use the Add Block menu in the upper left and click on the Patterns tab. I'm going to select images from the drop-down under the Patterns tab to see some examples and choose one that I like. I can add a block pattern to my page by clicking on it, and then it will be ready for me to customize. Let's see, I'll go with 3 images side by side. For example, I can use the Replace option on the block toolbar to replace a demo image with my own image from the media library. The overall look and feel of your site and the placement of site-wide elements like the header, footer, and menus are controlled by your site's theme. Let's take a look at how you can customize your site's design or choose a new theme. I'm almost ready to publish my site, but I notice that I only see my home page when I preview the site, and I don't see links to any of the other pages in the menu like the blog page and the About page that I just published. I can customize the menu and change other details of the theme on my site by going to the Appearance menu and clicking on Customize. Once the customizer loads, you will see a set of options on the left-hand menu, some of which can be unique to the theme you have set on the site. One option you will see on all sites is Site Identity, which allows you to change the site title as well as add a logo. A tagline is another setting here that will typically display below the site title. This can be used for a slogan or even for a business to share their local business location or contact info. I'll add something in for a tagline on my site now. Another option that you will see in the customizer on all sites is menu settings. Many themes support different types of menus that can be displayed in different locations. And often you might see both a primary menu and a social menu listed under menus. I want to edit the primary menu, which is the menu that will display at the top of all pages and posts on my site, so I'll click on Primary. I can see that there is only one link currently to the home page in my menu. I can add links to other published pages on my site by clicking on the Add Items button, and then finding the corresponding page I want to link to in the Pages section. If you don't see a page in this list, it is likely that you haven't published it yet, so you would want to double check those settings before coming in to edit your menu. Okay, I can see both pages listed, and I can click on each of them to add them to my menu. Once they are on my menu, I can drag and drop the individual menu items to rearrange them in the order that they'll appear on my menu. So I put the blog one just after home. I can also reorder the items using the reorder button or link in the menu section and click on the arrows next to each item to move them up or down in the order that they're in the menu. Once I'm happy with my changes, I'll click on the Save Changes button in the upper left of the customizer and then exit back to the dashboard using the X button just to the left. I mentioned earlier that the theme on WordPress is what controls the overall look and feel of your site. When you first set up your site, a default theme was chosen for you, but that doesn't mean you have to stick with it. You should feel free to experiment with different themes. You can see the theme that is currently on your site by clicking on Themes under the Appearance menu on the left-hand side of the dashboard. Here you will see your current theme listed at the top, along with a gallery of themes to choose from listed below. Clicking on different themes in the theme gallery will allow you to learn more about the theme, as well as see a live demo of what the theme looks like in action. Note that a site's theme is separate from the content of the site, meaning you can switch themes without losing the content of your pages and posts. At the risk of oversimplifying, you can think of your content as being the structure of a house, and a theme like the coat of paint that gets layered on top. Additionally, you can use the Try and Customize option that is shown at the top of the demo window to see what your content will look like with the new theme settings, and see what the settings are like prior to activating it. You can always switch back to a previous theme you were using as well if you end up activating a theme you don't like. For my demo, I'm going to activate the 2021 theme by clicking on the Activate this design button at the top of the theme page. We will ask you if you'd like to keep your existing homepage content as is, or if you'd like to switch to a different homepage with the demo content from the theme. I'm going to choose to stick with my existing homepage. Once you've activated the theme, you can click on the View Site button to get a preview of what your site will look like to visitors. Looks good. I think I'm almost ready to publish my site. The final step in making your site available online to visitors is to launch it. Launching your site will enable anyone to access it immediately online, but remember that it can take search engines several weeks to start showing your site in search results after launching. Find the option to launch your site in a number of different locations on your site's dashboard. One of those locations is My Home, where you should see an option to launch site featured prominently at the top of the page. Another option is when choosing or viewing your site and previewing your site, you can click on the Visit Site button in the upper right. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And when you're viewing your site, you should see a banner at the top if you're logged into WordPress that says your site hasn't been launched yet, and you can click the Launch Site button there. Finally, back on your dashboard, if you go to the Settings menu on the left-hand side, you'll see an option to launch site listed midway down the page. After you launch your site, you'll also see additional privacy settings listed here, such as the option to go back to coming soon mode. Launching your site is the final step in making your site available online, but it's really just the beginning. That's it for the demo on how to get started with a new site on WordPress.com. I'll turn it over to my colleague who can help answer any questions you have on setting up or using your site.